been 3 years since the start of Syria's civil war. More than 140,000 people have been killed and millions more made homeless. The economic impact of the unrest is huge. According to the Associated Press, GDP fell at 22.5% last year, and that's expected to fall another 9% this year. And inflation has been awful. Prices for everything, clothing to food, has risen 200% last year. And then there's the oil issue. Experts say Syria produced 370,000 barrels of oil a day. That was before the war. Last year, it produced just 60,000 barrels. Now, meanwhile, statistics show just that about half of the labor force in Syria will be out of a job. And that situation could get much, much worse. Alaa Ebrahim reports from Damascus.
These students are on their way to classes in Damascus University, fully aware that they are heading towards an uncertain future. Recent figures show that almost 40% of Syria's workforce will be unemployed. So many of these students will face a difficult choice between leaving the country or suffering unemployment.
Because of the situation, many of my friends couldn't find a job.
Finding a job isn't easy, and the criteria is very high. You need a high degree and a lot of experience or good connection.
With one of the highest education rates in the Middle East, Syria's unemployment rate isn't restricted to blue-collar jobs. On the contrary, most of those unemployed are engineers, doctors, lawyers, and holders of postgraduate degrees. A situation that poses a major threat to the Syrian government, which knows that the 8.4% unemployment rate in 2010 was one of the reasons for the protests that led to the 3 years of unrest across the country.
We have seen since day one a systematic attack on the economy by militants to further weaken the country. We are trying to overcome difficulties and launch programs of microfinance and vocational training.
But many criticize the government, saying it is not doing enough in light of fears that those who do not have an income will soon be a fertile environment for opposition militias to recruit from, prolonging the fight beyond the foreseeable future.
The government forgets that once the industrial zone in Aleppo was destroyed by fighting, it wasn't long before most of the 100,000 workers either left the country or joined the rebels because it was the only available job.
No matter where you stand, tomorrow isn't very promising for Syrian youth. The fear of unemployment adds to the fears of death, kidnapping, and losing a loved one. Syria's workforce is estimated at 6 million people. Over 2 million of them are jobless. Some might call this a silent but a ticking bomb in a situation that is already highly explosive. Alaa Ebrahim, CCTV, Damascus.